I live in El Paso, Texas, and if you've been watching the news, our city has been in the news for the last 3 weeks because of the border crisis. I usually don't comment on political issues like this. However, several faith leaders representing 60 denominations condemned our governor, claiming he lacks compassion. And I just want to be able to defend our governor on the things he's trying to do to protect our citizens. If you haven't heard the story of these faith leaders, here it is.
150 faith leaders are calling on Texas Governor Greg Abbott to welcome migrants arriving in Texas. In a letter, faith leaders across the nation and across multiple denominations are calling on the governor to, quote, end his inhumane handling of the migrants. They also say, while they are also frustrated by the federal government's lack of action on the issue, they are equally disturbed by the governor's actions. Leaders from more than 40 different cities signing that letter.
I think it's sanctimonious for these faith leaders who don't even live on the border to be condemning our governor, who is trying to protect the state of Texas. You see, the problem isn't our governor. The problem is Washington. You know, Joe Biden has this open border policy, and he's not letting these immigrants know that you can only come to America if your life is threatened, if you're under persecution. You cannot come because of poverty. Now, I don't blame the immigrants for wanting to come to escape poverty, but that's not sanctuary. You can't come because of poverty. If that's the case, we would never be able to stop immigrants from coming, because everyone wants to come for a better life. But our president doesn't make that clear. And he even wanted to abandon Title 42 that would at least protect us, border states and border cities. You know, our mayor didn't want to call for an emergency because he is partial toward Biden, and he wanted to do what Biden wanted him to do. And Biden pleaded with our mayor not to call for an emergency. But even our mayor had to call for an emergency. This tells you how bad it is. I've been to downtown El Paso, and I'm telling you, there are so many immigrants there that it's ruining the businesses here in downtown and other parts of the city. And that's not fair. And while the federal government does provide some financial assistance to help process the immigrants, the real financial burden is greater than just processing them. And what I'm saying, it's not fair that the border states get overburdened while other states do not. And I'm calling for the president to change his open border policy.